Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax
I meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for September 30th through October 4th, but not October 1st and 2nd because of the wild card games.
No. You say that so excitedly. We've had this conversation every year, and it still annoys me every year. Why do they have to do this thing during our time?
Listen, I don't understand either. So, but there was a couple of really sad things this week. First, non-General Hospital related. Drake Hodgestein. I don't know how to say his name.
You're close.
Okay.
I think you're good.
Okay. I mean, I've never watched Days, so I don't know, but I do know that he is an iconic soap opera legend, been on Days. I think they said it was like over 45 years, something like that.
I know it's been a ridiculous time because he was like one of our staple characters would be.
I mean, I could be totally wrong on my comparison, but I feel like even if you didn't watch Days, you know John and Marlena, the same way that if you never watched General Hospital, you know Luke and Laura.
Right.
So that's kind of my comparison is that. But I guess he had been diagnosed with cancer not too long ago and has passed. So sending love to our Days friends, fans. Yeah. And then for ourselves, we lost Ron Hale, the original Mike Corbin.
I'm so sad.
Like he was 78 years old, and I don't think anything's been released other than he's passed.
It makes me very sad, especially I think because we've been talking about all the Lucky stuff and like Club and all that. It makes me very sad.
Yeah, he was also on Ryan's Hope.
I mean, I'm sure that he was, but I don't pay attention to those other soaps.
Oh, yeah. I don't know either, but I know that that's another iconic show.
Yes.
So, because I think that's one of the hard things is sometimes when somebody passes away that's pretty much only been on GH, and then people don't understand why we're sad.
Yeah.
But it says that he only appeared. So it says he appeared on GH in more than 200 episodes between 1995 and 2010. Why do I feel like that's not enough?
Yeah, I feel like it was definitely more than that because he was, again, like a part of every day at Luke's.
Yeah. So I don't know. Okay. And then I have I have one correction to make. Nobody emailed me about this, but this is I was listening to the podcast, and when I was mentioning the Karen Reed trial, the way that I was explaining it, it sounded like it was one set of two brothers that did both crimes, and it's not. It's two brothers in a neighboring town's fire department are the ones that, and a handful of other guys that are being looked at for the young woman's now determined to be homicide, formerly suicide, being looked into that. And then there's other brothers, but there are two specifically, but there's like a whole group of these other brothers, the Alberts, that are being looked at into the Karen Reed one. So I just wanted to clarify. Unfortunately, it's more than two guys that are horrible.
Right.
So, and then also, I'm an absolutely horrible mother. So we're going to do a mini reality check because I feel like my week was split last week. And the first thing you asked me about during reality check was, my trip and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it was my daughter's 21st birthday. The day before I left.
You were not a horrible mother for that.
I can't believe that I didn't mention that, though, as part of my reality check. So, yeah, my baby girl turned 21, and we went putt-putting, like in one of those indoor golf places. So that was fun.
So did she even attempt to have a grown-up drink? I know you've said in the past she is not a fan.
She has no interest. She doesn't care, doesn't want to. Neither does my son, though. I don't think he had the drink that I drove up to buy him.
Yeah.
And then he tried, one of our friends loves, different IPAs and everything. And he brought him a mixed 6-pack and he tried part of one and he was like, mm-mm. And then my other friend, who we spend a lot of pool time and margarita time together, she brought him margaritas and no. And he doesn't care. I mean, it's a new, I'm happy for them. There's a lot more people, kids choosing to not indulge in that and do other things. And I'm like, good for you.
Right. No, I just wondered, I've never been a huge drinker. I enjoy, something yummy here or there on occasions, but it's not like a daily thing or whatever. But 21, that's like hammered into your brain that 21, you have to go have a drink. So I wondered if perhaps she, just to do what everyone else did, was going to be like, let me order something fruity. And then I didn't imagine her liking it, but I just wondered if she wanted to try.
She gets mad enough when I cook with it, even though I've explained to her that it cooks out.
Yeah. And you know what? She's
I didn't get to drink when I turned 21.
Well, that was your own choosing, Shannon.
I was pregnant and my daughter was born 11 days later. And so it was still a few more months before I partook.
I understand. But yeah, those were different circumstances. We're going to be happy that our daughters are not in that situation just yet, because they are not mature enough to be handling what we handled back then. But no, your daughter is my girl. She'd prefer a Dr. Pepper over alcoholic beverage. I am with her all the way.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean that's my Port Charles pipeline / mom fail / we have more reality check later. So. Oh yeah, in my true crime news update, did you watch the rug thing?
No.
Oh, okay. I am loving how our 411 seems to be lining up so perfectly with things that they are talking about on the show. Because this upcoming week, we're going to do part 3 of Lucky and Liz. And I am so mad for you about what they did to Jagger. Because
thank
you should have been having this.
Yes.
I mean, I know nothing was going to bring Karen back. So there's that. But I am so happy right now.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hulu headlines. On Monday, September 3rd. I don't say the date. On Monday, Elizabeth opens up to Terry. Nina and Curtis are puzzled. Brennan briefs Robert. Mac makes his feelings clear, and Carly wants answers. Then on Thursday, Sam wants to clear the air. Molly challenges Alexis. Elizabeth urges caution. Trina confides in Ava, and Portia questions Brad. And then on Friday, spoiler alert, because that's just what we do, Lucas returns.
Mm-hmm.
Ava advises Portia. Violet's behavior worries Brooklyn and Chase. Trina and Gio clash, and Sonny reassures Carly.
Yeah.
So where are we starting?
I don't know. Where do you want to start? I feel like it was so split up because of those missing days. I was so angry.
Oh, okay. First of all, Monday, best cliffhanger. We're not going to get into it, but having Lucky walk through Bobbies and see Liz turn around, I started to cry.
Of course you did.
Okay, I didn't bawl, but I teared up. I was like, I'm like, he's going to see her. And it's that's where they met the first time.
Yes.
Okay, we're not going to get into that now, but that was a good cliffhanger.
It was good.
Okay. All right. So I know we see this written all over the place, but okay. So Carly is in telling Lulu to hold on, that help's on the way. And Brennan came in and told her, she literally told Jason when she saw him, it's because of me.
Yep.
And I was just like, no, it's because of Brennan. And you outsourced, but also, yes, okay. Ultimately, I don't know.
Right. Brennan did you a favor, but you were not. It was pure luck that it all worked out the way that it did. Because if they would have been 5 seconds later showing up in those planes, nope. And then you wouldn't have been saying, "Oh, it's all me." Like if they would have had the crap bombed out of them, you wouldn't be like, "Oh yeah, I killed Jason and Anna. It was all me."
Exactly. It would have been Brennan's fault.
Yep.
But so Brennan just tells her that, everyone's arrived safely. And we just see Lucky come into the hospital with Jason and talk to Terry. I loved how Terry reacted because she has heard about this man for years.
100%.
For years.
She did a good friend, like, I've heard of you, but I'm not going to make that face that says, I've heard of you.
Yeah. I mean, part of me was kind of thinking, did Liz never show her a photo?
Right?
Because she was kind of looking at him like, oh. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, true. How could you not look at Lucky? Like, hello.
So there's that. But Portia took him to get his blood work done and is like, come on, her condition's deteriorating. We have to hurry. And then she offers to clean up his wounds. And he's like, no, I'm good. She's like, yeah, you have to be in your best physical condition to actually donate. And he's like, fine.
Right. You can put a Band-Aid on my head.
But then Anna is getting situated at home and Felicia comes over and is like, I need all the details. Start at the beginning. Don't leave anything out. And she left one thing out.
Yeah. As Anna was sitting there fantasizing about her and Jason's kiss.
No, I wanted to be right on that in the worst way.
See, I told you were wrong.
It's
and
dumb.
I didn't even want to be wrong. Like, that's just weird.
No, you did want to be wrong.
But that's what I mean. I didn't want you to be wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, I didn't even want to be wrong. And it's like, no, you did.
No. And I know that it is like not fair because we hold men and women to different standards and we shouldn't and blah, blah, blah. But when they play the guys dating the same girl as their son, it's icky, but I'm sorry. The mom is a whole new level of icky. I'm sorry that's sexist, but I
just think either way, it's absolutely gross.
It's so gross. But as a mom ourselves, like, could you imagine kissing the same boy that your daughter kissed? Ew.
No. Well, I sent you that TikTok, or did you send me the TikTok of the girl saying, or did I send it to Erica?
Just say, I don't know what TikTok you're talking about.
Okay, because I was drawing a genealogy tree at a restaurant not too long ago, and we totally enthralled the people next to us because they were like, what? Like just trying to explain our family. We were trying to explain the family tree to a friend. And then the three of us were sitting at the bar on the corner. So then like on the other corner, there is a couple. And I mean, we weren't
Maybe
loud.
You did send this to me. It was like your cousin,
the girl's aunt also became her grandma.
Her grandma, yes, she did.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I understand this. But yeah, like that's just disgusting.
Ew. I'm sorry. Again, I know it's icky no matter what, and I shouldn't be so sexist, but as a mom myself, the idea of kissing the same boy and a boy, I can't even say man, it doesn't even matter what age he is because of the age difference between me and my daughter, even if it was 30 years from now, the idea of me kissing the same boy that one of my daughters kissed is just blah. Yeah. And I certainly would not be sitting there days later replaying it in my mind like, mm-mm.
Well, she called herself out on it. Because, I mean, here's the thing. It happened. She can't exactly forget it. So what was her... Because she said, snap out of it, Devane. Or what are you doing, Devane? Or something like that. So I'm wondering, is she now just more mad at herself for it happening?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, Felicia was like, oh, that must have been comforting to have Jason there. He helped Robin during all those years.
Exactly.
Uh-huh. Yep, he sure did.
Please don't let Jason comfort you like he comforted your daughter. That's gross.
Mm-mm. I did like when Jason would not tell Carly and she's like, something else happened. He's like, just no, nothing happened. Like, let it go. Right. And just left and didn't tell her any of the details.
I'm not sure what they're trying to do with him and Carly either, though, because it's like Carly and him, we assumed, were going to try to pick up where they left off because they did have romantic feelings for each other. That was the whole thing of, oh no, they were being disloyal to Sonny. And now it's like we totally forget that. She's flirting with Brennan and he's telling her stop, not because he's interested in her, but because Brennan's a bad guy. And then we also see her with this fake relationship with Sonny. And it's like, do you forget that you are supposedly so in love with Jason? What's going on?
I will stand by. I think that they were exploring those feelings out of necessity because they thought they were going to have to be a couple forever. And so they started allowing themselves to do that. But then when it was over, it was like, okay, so nothing really came of that and nothing would.
Maybe. I don't know. I think I would have liked it better if they just got together and stayed together instead of all this extra drama with these other men.
Yeah. Oh, he did warn her about basically hanging out with Brennan too much because he's like, he's going to want to collect one day. And she's like, he already did a burger from Bobbies. I don't think that that's what Brennan had in mind.
No? You don't think he's happy? Those BLTs are supposed to be the best, man.
Seriously. But then, Portia told Lucky that he was clear to go see Lulu, so he did. And he's apologizing. Oh, and they have flashbacks to when he was talking to her as a baby.
I know. That was so cute.
This is why I am loving this so much, because you're like, okay, they are addressing the fact that he should have been here all along.
Yep.
They are addressing the fact that they made him a jerk. They made him a bad dad. They made him a bad brother. You know, he's having the guilt. But then we're also seeing the flashbacks to before when he could not get enough of Lulu and he couldn't get enough of Liz. And we're fixing it.
Yes. It was so cute.
It's going to be the best. And I just hope that they really fix Aiden because I was starting to get confused. Oh, sorry. I just took us all over the place because Terry went to go see Liz to give her a heads up. Like, hey, by the way, saw your man. My gosh. And I think Terry did a great job and brought up some really good points because she's like, well, because Liz said that, yeah, he called. And she's like, well, did any feelings get brought up? She's like, of course, I hear his voice and I remember the man that I was in love with, but he's been gone for 15 years. Like a lot of life has happened during that time. And especially, having his son, her focus is making sure that Aiden doesn't get hurt. And, she knows that they've gone time without talking and things like that. Oh, and then she told her that Lucky saved her sanity, helped her after the rape, and helped her realize that she's stronger than she thought she was, and she can do things she thought were impossible. But then Terry said, everything you say makes sense, but just remember, it doesn't always have to make sense. Or something like that. Like, right. It doesn't have to still make sense or something like that. So, because then at the same time is when Lucky was visiting with Lulu and apologizing and kept talking about how loud she is and how loud she's supposed to be.
Right.
So, and about how proud Laura is of her and how much she loves her because, she just basically risked her life. I did like that Carly told him at least, hey, they left before we knew where you were.
Right. Right.
So, I did like that pretty much the first thing he said to Carly was, I meant to respond to your email. I'm so sorry to hear about Aunt Bobby. And it looked like they were both legit. Like it was Laura Wright and Jonathan Jackson.
Yes.
Tearing up at the thought because, that was a big one.
Yeah.
Now we need to go fact check that because I thought that we heard something about Lucky when it happened. Maybe Laura said something and then he did Carly sent an email to him and he just didn't respond.
Yeah, because if he would have responded to Laura, that would make sense that then he didn't have time to respond to Carly too. Yeah.
So I've been talking a lot.
No, you're good. I love how in love you are.
And then, before I think it was after Terry left that Liz told Aiden. Or was it before Terry got there?
No, it was after Terry left. I was going to say it was after Terry left because she told him that he had landed. But I don't think she did say that he landed. She said that he was supposed to land that morning.
So it was before
So she
Terry got
got
there
the
that she
phone
took, because she
call.
said, yeah, your dad's coming in. That's right.
Yeah.
So she had a recast Aiden.
Right.
And she just told him, hey, your dad's coming. And he shared some of his feelings. He said, I know that he's not coming back for me. I'm not mad because he's coming to save Aunt Lulu, but I'm definitely not expecting him to even try to see me. He'll be gone before I even know that he's here, and I guess he stopped initiating the conversations, and I guess they went 5 months before Lucky even responded to an email, because we had heard about Aiden going to visit his dad, and going and staying with him.
Right.
That's how we explained
summer, right?
away.
Yeah.
It was at least a few summers ago, maybe, but it's how we explained all that away.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it is what it is.
It is what it is. I liked that when Lucky did meet up with Elijah, he was talking about his son, and Elijah was like, I'll talk to him. Tell him that you were doing stuff for the good of the people. Don't just act like you were out running around. And Lucky's like, yeah, but I should have been here.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. He's absorbing a lot of this guilt, because he's like, this wouldn't happen if I wasn't here, or if I was here. And it's like, we talked about this before, that's not necessarily the truth.
Well, that's the thing I don't like of what they're doing with Lulu. They're making it sound like she's been laying in this bed, dying, needing a transplant for all these years. That's not why she's been laying in the bed all these years. She was in a coma. She is in a coma. And this is a side effect of that. So Lucky being there would not have pulled her out of her coma any faster than what is happening right now. Yes, she would have got the transplant a couple weeks faster maybe, and not had her body suffering and declining as much as it has been, but he wouldn't have been able to magically bring her out of a coma.
No.
So, yeah.
I did like that Aiden asked Liz if he's like his dad, and she's like, well, if you mean you're both handsome, then yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, people say that he's just like Liz, and that means that they think highly of him, and he's glad that he's that he's his mom's son.
Yeah.
Aww. So then, before Lucky left Lucky went to see Isaiah. I think that was a couple days later. I think that was on Thursday.
To see Isaiah. I kind of rushed it. He went to see Isaiah after he went to see Sonny.
But so after he left, because that wasn't until Friday then. Well, so he went to see Sonny on Friday. So that was days later then that he saw Isaiah. But on Monday, after he had his first set of blood work done, he decided to go to Bobbies, and saw Liz standing at the counter. And he walked in, and she grabbed her coffee and turned around and saw him. And then it cut.
Yep.
But then we opened up on Thursday with that, and he said something about...
He said coffee will stunt your growth.
Yes.
And then she said, isn't that cigarettes?
They had the flashback to when they first met outside of Kelly's, when she was like, and what's your name? And he's like, Lucky. And she's like, we'll see. People are going to see a different side of Liz if they keep seeing these flashbacks.
Right.
And then he said, no, you gave up on cigarettes, but you never gave up on coffee, and that she hasn't changed. And then they hug and they talk about his trip. And he says that he's more hungry than tired. And so she orders his BLT with onion rings and extra pickles. I love pickles. I don't think I've ever put them on a BLT.
Mm-mm.
I'm going to have to try that now.
No, you are, because Lucky told you to.
Yeah, I'm still not going to like onion rings, so I'm not going to try that. But it just never occurred to me.
Onion rings?
No, I don't like onion. Nope. I don't like onion. I'll cook with them for the flavor, but I don't like the texture. So no.
Oh, wow. You're weird.
Nope. Same thing with mushrooms. Like chicken marsala is one of my favorite dishes, but I don't eat the mushrooms.
Okay.
Yep. They just bring out a good flavor. Anyway.
Yeah, a mushroom flavor. But okay.
But it's the texture.
I get it.
So he was all surprised. And that's the thing. Like, they kept not making the faces at each other, like, it was just like the little smiles that they had. And she was like, well, why don't you grab that to go? Oh, because he said something about, I thought you would be at work or something. And she said, oh, she was on her way there. And
told him
like,
that she was head nurse.
Yep. He's like, isn't that kind of late? And she's like, it's kind of one of the perks of being head nurse. You get to make your own schedule. And he said, there would be nobody better. And she's like, I can think of one or two. And then he's like, okay, Aunt Bobby would be proud of you.
Yep.
Ugh. I can't. I just need them to not do anything for an entire day except for Lucky and Liz. Like, that's just what I need. They just need one day of all them, all his catching up, all of it. Because then
he was being
he talks her into being late. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I was going to say he's a bad influence on her already because he's like, you can be late for your meeting. You're the head nurse. And so she sits down and talks to him as he eats his food and then accompanies him back to the hospital because he needs her there to get his blood taken. And then he doesn't actually.
Because he doesn't like needles.
Yeah. Who likes needles, though? I think that's always the funniest thing. I don't like
I was in my 30s before I had my blood drawn for the first time by myself.
Okay.
Yep. So I completely understood my daughter's issue with it. Yep. So she did tell him about, because she was like, so you need to kind of give me a little rundown. And he was pretty vague about it. He's like, so, we were at this camp and this guy, this is when she told him that she met Isaiah.
And he asked if he flirted with her. And she was like, anyway.
Oh, I loved how she did not mean to say it the way that it came out. But she's like, well, I understand why they would have Isaiah. I mean, he's a physician, but why did they want you? And then he just tells her about how, they played a lot of cards. And she's like, well, what were the stakes? He's like, oh, lives, all that fun stuff. And kind of blows it off as no big deal. And she's like, so no one's going to buy that. Everyone's going to need more of a story, especially one person. And he was like, my mom. And she's like, yeah, and your son. Like, your son needs to know that you were gone for reasons other than playing poker.
Right, exactly. You're making it sound like you were on a camping trip, eating s'mores and playing games. Like, that's not a good enough reason. Right.
And so, but I liked that because he definitely said, he doesn't know his son. She filled him in a little bit. And she's like, he's growing into be, a great young man, but he's not bulletproof and you have to be careful.
Right.
And so he still hasn't seen him, but I loved it all. I loved how they caught up. I loved how she filled him in. Because, she understands. Oh, she even said, like, you don't owe me anything. And then later on, he said, that's what I owe you. What did he owe her? He said that he owes her at least that. Oh, I forget what it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
I forget. But then, they went to the hospital. He had the other blood work done. We found out that he was a match. Yay.
Yay.
So Aiden's older. Not for nothing. Why didn't we test Aiden?
Right?
I highly doubt that Aiden would have said no.
Yep.
Okay. And then today is just Lucky and Liz again. Or,
Right?
We'll get through all the Lucky and Liz first, and then we can move on to everything else.
Everything else is like 5 seconds and stupid.
Yep. Oh, when they were leaving Bobbies, and he said, nice job on the sign.
That was my favorite.
Oh, when she was like, oh, Carly told you that I made it. And he's like, no, I'd recognize your brush stroke anywhere.
Yeah. That was my favorite line.
How awkward, though, when Lucky and Liz get off the elevator and there's Sam and Jason.
Yeah. Hey, guys, what's up? And now Sam has the nerve to go up to Jason and be like, oh, I understand. I'm sorry. I was so mad, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I should have told you myself instead of having you hear it through our kid. Like, no, Sam, you talked all kind of smack and were so nasty with Carly about him and to him about it. And now you're just going to be like, oh, since you brought Lucky back and that makes Rocco and Dante happy. Thanks so much.
Right.
I'm over Sam's back and forth. Pick a side, sister.
Well, maybe she's just picking the mature side and realizing that she was wrong.
I don't believe that. I think next week when Jason does something to make her mad again, she's going to be talking crap again.
Yeah, maybe. I did like that she went and told Dante,
Yes.
and he was like, oh, are you guys, turning a corner? And she's like, no.
No, not that mature.
Yes, but no. But then, he tells her, listen, even all the stuff's going on with Lulu, like it's still you and Rocco. Oh, that was the thing, is that that's the thing, though, that I think that Sam maybe did realize that she was overreacting because of how thankful Dante and Rocco are.
Yeah.
And she was, but he also was not wrong for saying you shouldn't have heard that from Danny. Like, I definitely should have texted you. It takes 2 seconds.
Right. He definitely should have had
run
better
into Africa, BRB.
Yes, exactly. Text you when I'm home.
Right. Not even that. Just text me when you're leaving the country.
Yeah. No, he definitely should have been. I just feel like she's been through enough with Jason. She knows that Jason doesn't do stuff for dumb reasons.
Mm-hmm.
That should have all clicked with her before she screamed and yelled at him and talked all kind of crap to Carly.
Yes.
So, and Dante thanked him. Was like, I don't want to make this, but thanks.
Yeah. What else happened at the hospital? Oh, before Lucky went and got his final. Oh, no, it was after he got his blood work. She was like, so how'd you do? He's like, great, I got a juice box. I'm not going to apologize. I am like 14, 15 again. I had a dream about Lucky last night. Okay.
Oh my. Remember, this is a family-friendly podcast.
Inappropriate, but there might have been some confusion between should I stay with my husband or not.
I'm sorry. I love your husband, but no. If you have a chance to be with Lucky, no.
Oh. Okay. Sorry, JD. Listen, it is a fictional character on a fictional show.
Right, exactly. Oh, man.
But, oh yeah, he said that he was going to go see Aiden, and she was like, well, just don't go overboard, don't overdo it. And I think she knew that she didn't have to tell him that because he's definitely not like a love bombing guy. But,
yeah.
He thanked her for everything and said that he has a good feeling about this. And she agreed. Good feeling about what? I don't know.
Right.
Is it saving Lulu's life? Is it rebuilding a friendship or a relationship with your son? Or is it rekindling a romance with your first love?
Let's do all of the above.
Yes. Let's. Then I think the only thing really left with Lucky was, like you said, he went to go see Sonny. And
that was a pretty, wow moment whenever him and Sonny hugged, and you could see that Sonny was totally thinking of Luke and missing him. That was sweet.
Yeah. And it was nice to see dad guilt.
Yeah.
And Sonny was like, I've had that for my own kids and some of the things that I've done. And do you think your dad would think any less of you or anything? And he said no. And he's like, okay, then
move on.
Aiden knows that you love him.
Right.
So, and that was one thing Aiden didn't say. Aiden didn't say that I think maybe he did say that he knows that he loves him.
Yeah, he said, I know dad loves me, but it's the rest of it that's kind of.
I was going to say he didn't say anything about he thinks that Lucky doesn't love him, but no, he did. He did actually say he knows that he loves him. It's just kind of, he goes days without even thinking about him, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lucky gave him some good advice, and I don't know. It's just so good.
I love the teenage smile on your face. But Lucky says, I guess I should go see him. And Sonny's like, it's school hours.
Right. And that's where he's like, oh, yeah, I have to learn this. And he's like, don't worry. The second you figure it out, they're going to change it.
Which is so true.
Yeah.
And then that's whenever he went to the hospital.
Yeah.
And was like, hey, you look like you're doing a good job hopping around. And Isaiah's like, yeah, you should have seen me a couple weeks ago because I was not doing so hot.
Yeah. I do like that. Oh, it was funny because he's like, so are you enjoying Port Charles? He's like, oh, yeah, the airport, the side of the road, the hospital. It's fantastic. But he did say to Lucky, he's like, yeah, so you just need to give me a rundown of your life before I say anything wrong. Like I kind of already have. And he's like, you met Liz.
Right. Exactly.
And he said something about that he's going to be able to help Lulu. And Isaiah asked him about the surgery, if he's nervous. And he's like, for Lulu or for me? And I feel like this is something, I mean, it hasn't come up yet in our 411 about Lucky, but I don't remember Lucky being this nervous about hospitals, but he was nervous about the needles. And also now he was nervous about the surgery. And then Isaiah walked him through it.
Yeah.
Was Lucky kind of asking him to do his surgery?
Yeah, because then Isaiah's like, I am absolutely not picking up a knife ever again, which I can't wait to hear the story on why that is. And then
not on crutches.
Well, I think it was obviously something else too. And then Lucky was like, yeah, I didn't mean to actually ask you that. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I want to know what.
Oh, no, I definitely know that it was something else. But at the same time, I'm like, but he's also on crutches, dude. Like, you don't want that.
Right.
You need a steady hand.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he walked him through the recovery also.
Well, that's perfect because then Liz will get to be his nurse.
Yes.
And make him all better. I think that's all the Lucky stuff, right?
I believe so. And then nothing else happened the rest of the week. Goodbye.
Right.
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot. Suitcases, Tetris style.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy? No going back this time. Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax, carpets.
I meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant. If things go to plan, it'll be smooth sailing.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
All right. So we already talked about Felicia and Anna.
Yeah. So that was blah. And then Portia ran into Brad and yelled at him for being at work. And
for picking up a shift, for being a team player, for not wanting to be a bad employee.
Right, exactly. My manager asked me to pick up an extra shift. Well, how dare you be here when I didn't know you were on the schedule? Well, I wasn't. That's what picking up an extra shift means.
Yeah.
But okay. And then
he's like, you can be mad at me all you want. This is kind of ridiculous, but you can.
Right, exactly. Like, you should be mad if I wasn't picking up shifts because that's not being a nice employee.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see Ava, which I could not decide. Ava's hair.
I love it.
Beautiful. Ava's hair was perfect, but that outfit, I could not decide if I loved it or hated it.
See, I love it on her because I feel like she has that chic 70s vibe.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how I pictured the entire thing was.
Like when she first showed up in it, I was like, what in the heck is she wearing? And like her hair and makeup looks so perfect. Why is she in this outfit? Even though it matches, just like I was not a fan. And then by the end of the week, I was like, man, maybe I'm just jealous that Ava can pull it off. And even if I was the exact same body shape as her, I still could not. So
I bought my first jumpsuit. Is that a romper? What are they called? Romper?
I think they're rompers.
I was just so mad because I actually bought it and I was still like just a few pounds away from being able to wear it. And I was like, oh, awesome. I will definitely be able to wear this to the Summer Nights event that JD's work has every August. I'm like, it'll be August. It'll be great because it's actually really cute. It when the legs are together, it looks like a skirt.
Okay.
Yeah, spouses weren't invited this year.
Ah,
I'm like, I have a romper. I need to go. I'm like, I'll buy me a ticket. But, I mean, the good news is that they had actually just sold out. So it's not like we're seat fillers because we're not. But it was, hey, we need the extra space. So like spouses can't come. But yeah. So maybe that was more of me where I'm like, oh, I'll be able to wear that soon. I need my own makeup team and hair stylist and all that stuff. But I thought she looked super cute.
Like I said, I just couldn't. At first, I was like, I hate it, and then by the end of the week, I was like, I don't know. I'm so conflicted. But
she did the stuff other than looking cute, though.
She did. She had a nice conversation with Rick, telling him to like think outside the box, and then Rick's like, oh yeah, maybe somebody at the hospital did mess with the results because that never crossed my mind. And then he's like, well, for you to have said that, you must have know who it is. And she's like, no, I just am saying that makes sense. And then he says he's gonna file charges, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, don't do that. GH has more attorneys than you can even think about. Just admit that there must have been a mistake. They'll happily rerun it for you and go from there. And then she runs to Portia and is like, hey, did you not understand that they're obviously going to run more than one test?
Right. And apparently he ran 4. So like we talked about, it's not even like he got a 3rd test done just to see. He got 2 more tests done.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he actually should have had one done again at GH.
Right.
Because he even said, well, there's a chance that, maybe somebody just accidentally didn't. I mean, it's the thing that you're testing for. So you would hope that they would actually change that value. But maybe someone just didn't. Right. I mean, it happens. Sometimes you update a form and you don't get every last T and I.
Right.
But.
And then Portia's like, I don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. And Ava's like, really? Are you going to waste time denying this to me? Like, it does not take a rocket scientist to figure out that you are the person who had access and motive and did this. I'm trying to help you. And then Portia's like, why would you help me? Oh, my God.
Like, have you not learned this by now that she has multiple times told you how much she adores your daughter? Oh, and she had told Trina that earlier in the week when Trina told her that she was going back to school because Ava had asked her if she would run the gallery. And she's like, I don't know if I'll be able to fit that in with school. And she was legitimately so excited to hear that Trina was going back to school and working on herself, and moving. I didn't like when she said, I need to put Esme and Spencer behind me.
Yeah.
Because she needs to put Esme behind her, but she just needs to heal from Spencer.
Yeah.
To be fair, they could have done a better job at her being able to get some justice from Esme because that was not handled correctly. But,
right.
There's a difference between the person who drugged you and
accused you of filming your friends being intimate.
Yeah. There's a difference between that and her death and your boyfriend's death. Like there's a big difference. So,
yeah.
But overall, I really liked how excited Ava was. And she's like, well, that's fine. And Trina's like, well, I don't want to disappoint you. And she's like, no, more than my employee, like I love you as a friend and I want you to be able to do this. So for Portia to still not understand this years and years and years later.
Right.
But Ava's going to help her. And Portia said something about Brad. And that's when Ava said, you just zip it. And I think that I'm going to be right, that they're going to pin it on Brad.
Yep.
But then could this be because Lucas is back and apparently wants absolutely nothing? Well, not apparently. I mean, we did know this, but he is so adamant that like he's never going to talk to Brad. So he went to the lab and told him, we're not going to talk.
Have you ever been so mad at somebody that you had to then go see them to tell them that you were so mad you weren't going to talk to them? It sounds a little counterproductive.
I think given the context where Terry had just told him because he had left Carly's to go do his paperwork at GH. And the first thing Terry said was, we're so excited to have you back and blah, blah, blah. But I have to tell you something. And then we didn't see anything until he was down in the lab. It was probably just more of I think if Brad were not at the hospital when it happened, I don't think Lucas would have left the hospital and gone to find him. I think because Brad was at the hospital.
Okay. I'll give you that. All right.
That's what I was thinking. Because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, why not just have HR mediate or handle this and
or just not say anything. And when you see him in the hall, if you have a medical reason to speak to him, be like, hey, here's that chart. Can you rerun this again? And if not, just walk past him like you don't know him.
Right. I mean, I don't know how HR would exactly get involved with that, but I don't know. Because if Brad were still old Brad, what Lucas did, he doesn't have a witness for.
Right.
So, but he's not. I mean, Brad's just.
Right. Well, I mean, it would be kind of cute if they had the hospital bring charges against Brad again and Brad be like, no, seriously, I didn't do this. And then have Lucas in his corner and they could at least get like a friendship back together. I liked them together. I know Brad messed up, but I liked them together.
Well, and that's the thing is Brad made an absolutely horrible choice.
Right.
But he was in an absolutely horrible position. Right. And
didn't want his spouse feeling the same pain that he was feeling.
Right. So it's And it had only just happened. It was within minutes.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, that's over and done with. But I did like that Lucas said that he had already emailed Willow and Michael about Wiley, and
yes,
he wants to be able to be a better uncle.
Yeah.
So that was nice. And I guess in the 5 seconds that Joss and Lucas passed by each other in the foyer, she gave him all the dirt on Sonny and Carly.
No, I thought that was funny because he walked in and was like, Joss, I need pictures, I need scoop, I need this, I need that, blah, 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 like, spill the tea. And then whenever he sits down with Carly, it's like, oh yeah, I talk to Joss like every other day and she keeps me filled in on everything. Well, then why did you just say you needed the scoop? I don't understand.
Right. Like,
which one
you
is
should have
it?
sat down and said, so how's Dex?
Yeah, exactly.
Something. Or at least show that they do have a relationship and have him sit down and say, so what's new with Sonny and Carly? Or are they still pretending to be together? You know, like something that says,
yes,
he's aware. So yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
But then Joss is on her way out the door because she has to meet Trina. And I didn't like that interaction between Trina and Gio either. Like, Trina is always more mature than everyone else. And so she's like, hey, Gio, that gate's going to be back on. Do you want to still perform? And he's like, no, I don't want to perform for the woman who threw my cousin out a window, or not cousin, but like raised his cousin basically out a window, blah, blah, blah. And Trina's like, fine, I won't ever ask you to do anything again with the gallery, and goes and walks inside all mad. Like, that was not Trina. She
did say, how about you make the judge the deciding? You know, because that's the thing, because even Gio said, if she's found not guilty, maybe I will then consider it.
Right. And that was
it's
more
like,
part of the
okay,
conversation
then
with Joss. Yeah, like Joss brought them together. And I mean, I'm glad that Joss is being a good friend, but no, that just felt like that was a whole unnecessary scene because the two of them are usually more mature. They don't need Joss to be the voice of reason.
Well, but here's the other thing too, though, is the responsible and more mature one is allowed to have a bad moment, and they are allowed to have those feelings. And that's kind of crappy of Joss to be like, no, you are always this way, so you need to not ever be upset because you're always the one. And it's like, no. Yeah. Trina can be mad. Trina can have her feelings hurt. Trina cannot want Gio at the gallery as much as Gio doesn't want to be at the gallery because of Ava.
Right.
She has that right. She does not have to always be accommodating of everybody else and whatever mood swings they're having that day.
Right.
She can be like, all right, cool. You don't want to do it? All right, I'll go find someone else.
I do like that then whenever he asked her if she found someone else, she was like, I mean, maybe they're not quite up to the same level as you. And I was like, yeah, they're
not even been 5 minutes though.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I did think that for him, it was kind of harsh. The way that he said it too, it wasn't like, I don't know. You know, it was just like a straight no, because it's Ava and blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. I felt like it was, but then again, he's allowed to have that quick gut response too.
Right. And then I think all that's left is Violet.
Oh no, we still have Nina went to go see Curtis, and they talked all about how distracting Drew is and she's his campaign wife.
See, I think I blocked that all out on purpose.
And then Curtis gets a phone call. Oh, well, to be fair, Curtis was like, I just don't want what happened in Nixon Falls to happen again.
Right? That was so great. Don't want you to be confused.
He gets a phone call that Marshall has been asked to tour with Wynton Marsalis, and that's a real person.
Oh, wow.
Yep. He is an American trumpeter, composer, and music instructor who is currently the artistic director of jazz at the Lincoln Center.
Wow. You go, Marshall.
Yeah. And he's currently on tour in Beijing, or in China, and then he's in Hong Kong and Taiwan, and then he comes to United States, but not Pittsburgh.
Of course not.
There's more. There's more dates. Philadelphia.
I was going to say, but still not Pittsburgh.
No. And that is not even close to Pittsburgh, guys. Yeah, and then he goes to the UK, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Luxembourg, Germany, Belgium, Germany, Austria, and then back in the United States.
Nice.
Yeah. So I
But Marshall
meant
doesn't want to go.
right. So did we just lose Marshall?
I mean, I don't know. We're not right yet because right now he's saying no, he's not going because he has to watch over the club.
No, he said that he would go as long as the family goes to see him. And Curtis said, well, we'll want front row seats. And he's like, every show. And where was it? Because that was Friday. They talked about it. And Curtis said that, or was that Thursday? Hold on. Because Curtis went to the Savoy and confronted him about, hey, I got this phone call and this booker's kind of like mad at me for not telling him about you.
Yeah, that was Thursday. Yep.
And then Marshall's like, well, you are taking over Aurora and, you know, the Savoy is your baby, but Aurora is your future. And so I'm going to make sure that, you know, the Savoy doesn't tank while you're transitioning. And Curtis is like, well, we'll just get Nika in here. And Marshall's like, so she's in grad school full time.
Right.
And Marshall says that he was a terrible father. And Curtis said if he lets him pass up this opportunity, then he's a terrible son. So they do wind up settling on that if things get too difficult between Aurora and the Savoy, Curtis will call him and he'll be back. But the best gift that he can give his family is achieving his dream and going on tour.
Well, I hope they let him perform on GH. Like, let's bring them all back and let us see.
I don't know though. But yeah, so that was my first thought. I'm like, did we just lose him? And I just Googled real quick and I don't see him leaving.
Stop doing spoilers.
Well, listen, we didn't realize that, what's his name? Who was it that just left? And we were like, wait, was that seriously it? He's gone. It wasn't Michael Easton. Yes, it was. Was it Michael Easton? Roger Howarth. Nope.
No, it was Michael Easton because they said they were sending him to rehab. And then it was like the next day that he posted that Instagram and was like, thanks for all the years. And we were like, wait, what?
Right. So, yeah. Or Blaze. I didn't realize she was gone.
Yeah.
That's right. I didn't. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why they brought Lucas back. I really don't.
I just feel like it's weird that they brought him back now, that they wouldn't have brought him back right when Bobby passed.
He did. When he said, well, he apologized to Carly for not sticking around after Mom died.
Yeah. But I mean, why he didn't come back then and stay?
Well, he had to wrap up his life. Apparently all he does is work in Boston. There is so much other stuff to do. He could have had a life.
Oh, yeah.
So, what else? Oh, Alexis had a visit from Molly.
Yeah. I just felt like, I know people hate when I say it, but I felt like that was filler. Like, let's just give Molly another reason to be mad and storm off.
I understand, but that's the thing. I understand how she got there from Alexis saying, I'm her mother. This is the decision. And she's like, of course, only a mother would understand that, though. So I understand how she got there from that. But she needs to also understand that her mom is not going to sit there and allow her to continually beat up on Christina.
Right.
You know, because she's trying to reason with her and is saying, listen, she has severe postpartum. Like, she's not okay.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about all the other times.
Right. Exactly.
Right now we're talking about this, and this is the situation right now. So, yeah. And then, Rick went to visit Heather, and he's more dependable than Scott.
Right.
And she thanks him for not giving up on her because she hasn't given up either. And I love this. I love this storyline of, well, Alexis feels like she can get out of jail, and she did the same thing I did. And she was of sound mind.
Right.
And I was like, ooh, I love that, because she's not entirely wrong. I mean, Rick was like, so her body counts 1, yours is like 8.
Right. Exactly.
You know, there is a difference, but she's not wrong on the sound mind part.
Yeah.
And then he talks about the blood results and about how they might have been different. And then he got the phone call that they were, whatever it was, that he got the phone call, and then he calls Ava and tells Ava while she's with Portia.
Right. We're gonna get her out. We're gonna overturn it. I filed an injunction. Blah 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 blah. Like, are not supposed to be discussing one client's stuff with another client.
No.
And even if she wasn't your client, you're not supposed to be discussing your client stuff with your friends. Like, no.
Yep. Not to keep going back to it, but the lead detective for the Karen Reed trial got fired this week. But because a lot of it was they found text messages of him discussing the case with his sister. She got fired from her job too as a teacher. And they found like there's a group of like 8 guys just from like, college that he was just talking about the case with.
What a dummy.
So you have no idea. So anyway, but that does happen. Like he could get fired. Rick could get fired if anyone overheard that phone call and wasn't saying, oh, I was talking to my paralegal.
Right. Exactly.
What? Don't they have any paralegals?
I don't know.
But yeah, so then when Heather went back to her bunk, she started talking to Alexis about things that Rick said. And, what was the word that she said he used in regards to the blood work? What was it? It's currently, that the blood work is currently not in her favor. And that kind of piqued Alexis's interest. And she's like, did he say currently? And she's like, yep. And then kind of repeated it back. And she's like, well, that is telling me that he thinks that there is something that could change that.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting. Yes, Heather did a lot more damage.
She did. I feel like hers was more, obviously shooting someone is not a kind way to kill someone, but I don't know very many kind ways to kill someone. But that was a nicer way to kill someone than walking around hooking them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like less fear inducing, maybe.
Right.
So,
well, and that was the thing that Carly went and talked to Sonny about and said, we need a plan on how this is going to end. And I did like that Carly was like, we need a plan to get Alexis out of there so that this can end.
Right. Exactly.
And Sonny actually said that, so they need to find the gun to prove that Alexis's fingerprints weren't on it. But Alexis's fingerprints are on the gun in the river. Oh, who was it? Molly said that the police or Sam have not been able to find it.
Right.
Good using of the PI and the referencing her nautical skills.
Yes. Because Sam had mentioned a couple weeks ago, like, I happen to know how to dive, so I'll just go jump in the water.
Yep. That's how we first met her, coming out of the water.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I remember is her getting on the boat with Jax.
Yep.
Going after the dead man's hand.
Yes.
So, but then Sonny says if it comes down to it, he will turn himself in.
I don't know if I believe that.
I feel like he said it before. Not
We'll
about
have
this
to see.
specifically, about other situations.
Yeah.
And then somehow things wind up changing and they don't get that far. So I don't know. And then, what else? I've been talking too much.
You haven't. There's lots of weeks that I talk too much. You're good. I completely forgot all the Curtis Nina stuff. I was ready to just talk about Violet and be done. Nina's so on my nerves.
I think that actually is it, other than the Violet.
I hope that means that we're moving towards Finn getting out, because it has been a long time and she is definitely feeling some kind of way. And I like these parenting opportunities for Chase and Brooklyn, but at the same time, realistically, most times you're not just tossed in to raising a kid at 9 or whatever. You get to like build up your skills over time.
Right.
So, and we need Finn to come home.
Yes, we do.
But I thought it was cute that she was upset about her shirt. She was like, that dumb boy spilled grape juice on my shirt and now it's ruined. And Brooklyn's like, we can wash it. It's okay. But we don't hit boys.
Well, so what happened was that Brooklyn got a phone call from the school that Violet punched a boy and they had to go pick her up. And the boy had said that, so Violet was telling one of her friends that she wasn't going to be able to go to the pumpkin patch with her dad. And then she was explaining that, he's in a hospital, but he gets to go on hikes and stuff like that. And then this little dude, Garth, says, and who names their kid Garth nowadays?
Hey, at least it's a different name. They're trying to use different names.
That
I don't
is
think
true.
we've had a Garth before. If this would have been another Michael or something, we would have been angry about that. So
If we get a Wayne, I'm going to have a lot of respect for these writers. Just on 2 names. Yeah, so Violet punched him, and then it kind of, it was weird. I don't know. I felt like the whole thing was kind of, I like that Chase kind of told her, there's consequences when you do something wrong. Like, I understand why you did it, but you're going to have to handle what the school does, because then we see Brooklyn is getting a phone call from the school that they have to talk to her guardian. So do you think that Violet's going to be expelled?
I don't think she'll be expelled, but I bet that she gets 3 days suspension.
Probably. But like, why didn't they talk about that when they went to pick her up?
Right. That was the part that I thought was weird. Like, I've, knock on wood, never had a kid get suspended, but I thought that when that happened, they called your parents and were like, come pick up your kid now. They're suspended for 3 days because they got in a fight.
And at least have like the school psychologist there too, and be like, hey, we know that
this
issue
isn't typical. Right.
This isn't typical. We know that there's some stuff going on at home. Like, maybe we need to talk about this. Maybe we need to, because they've been talking about getting her in therapy. They just haven't done it yet.
Right.
So I don't know.
But I hope that the way that they go about it is like, you have to accept the punishment that you get from school, but you're not in trouble here, because I think you've talking through it and listening to the fact that you're in trouble at school is punishment enough that we don't put hands on people, and Garth was being a jerk.
Yeah.
So, but poor Violet.
I think it would have, but the thing is, I think it would have made more sense if they had gotten into a verbal altercation, at which point Garth then threw the juice, and Violet's reaction was to punch him, because the shirt was something that Finn purchased. Because for her to just go from that to that, and then he threw the juice on, and then that just made her sad.
Right.
Like, no, if she's already escalated, she should have had him on the ground punching him in the face a few times.
Right.
Based on, I'm not saying that's okay. I am not saying that she should not have hit him, period, end of sentence. She should not be attacking the kid and putting him, like, punching him down to the ground. But that's just what I see in my head is, if she did that over a word, why didn't she also respond when...
Right. Maybe a teacher intervened right after.
Well, but that's the thing. The teacher didn't see her throw the punch, but also she doesn't say anything about...
The teacher did see her punch him.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what Chase said at first. That's not like Violet. And Brooklyn was like, the teacher saw it.
That's right. The teacher saw it. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they should be congratulating her or taking her out for treats or anything, but...
No, but I don't know. I've always told my kids, if you get in trouble for defending yourself or defending your family, you're not going to get in trouble at home. We're going to have a conversation about it, because we need to learn to not use physical fights to, get over the situation. But at the same time, whatever the school punishes you, like, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to go up to the school and be like, you can't suspend my kid for the fact that they hit somebody, because, it's in the policies. You're going to get suspended if you hit someone. So,
right. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with that. And then I think that is it.
Because of stupid baseball.
Like I said, it wasn't even like
your favorite teams.
Other teams were playing. Oh, shit. We forgot about Holly.
Holly. What did Holly do?
She went to Maxie's, and Max saw her, and he told her that he's not happy she's back because Robert's happy, and he's worried she's going to mess that up for him. And he told her about Cody, and she said that she wishes she could say she was sorry, that their friendship is part of why he and Dominique broke up. And he's like, yeah, you're lying.
Right, exactly.
And then, Brennan had caught Robert up on the strike, and then Robert was like, wait, you said that there were 4 people. And Brennan's like, yeah, what can you tell me about Holly Sutton, and do we need to worry about her? Robert's like, yeah, but not in the way you think.
Right, exactly. She'll do something to manipulate you, but she's not like a terrorist. So.
And then we saw Holly go to knock on the door and walked away and did not go say hello to Robert.
Good. I hope she keeps it that way.
So, yeah. Oh, and that was the thing. Anna told Felicia also that Holly saved them.
Yeah.
She's like, and then we met Sidwell's girlfriend, Holly Sutton. Okay, and then I think that was really it. We kind of went all over the place. Most important things that happened were Lucky and Liz. So
I thought you were going to say most important thing was lucky. So we covered that. You're welcome.
Reality check.
My reality check, I did not do anything other than, no. Unfortunately, I didn't watch GH until yesterday. So it wasn't only about Lucky and Liz, but I don't know. It just makes me happy. What did I do this week? I really don't feel like I did much this week. Yeah, just work. Wow, I'm exciting.
Yeah.
I think that's literally it. Nothing really happened this week. Wow, I'm boring. We came back from our trip on Sunday night and got settled back into things.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I literally have nothing. I just worked all week. Yep.
All right then. I mean, I wasn't much better. I worked finishing up training. There's still 3 more days next week, and then I'll be on my schedule. I got my schedule, which is awesome because it works well for Madeline.
Good.
I'll have weekends off, and then it's 4 hours a day, 9 to 1, but you can pick up as much extra hours as you want. So
Nice.
on the days that she doesn't have stuff going on, I can work more hours, and on the days that she does, I can just stick to my 4 and be around to do her stuff. So
Nice.
I'm happy. And then I had a court hearing with my ex over child support, and I didn't kill anyone. No one had to bail me out. It was not in person, so that was helpful. But we're gonna end up with an in-person one.
Good.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it was just the mediation one that they try to figure everything out. But he decided to conveniently forget about some of his income, and I was not going for that. And so I was like, yeah, we can just have a court hearing. So we do in person next month. So
Great.
yeah, I don't usually talk about that stuff, but I'm frustrated. Like, she's almost 12, and now we're going to start getting nasty because you don't want to be an adult. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Pay what is rightfully due for your kid, and let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I'm like, along those lines, right before we started to record, I got a lovely letter saying that they need even more documentation for my daughter before they can make a decision.
Yep, which is all BS because they've gotten everything. They have all that information on file already. And what they really needed to decide was the medical side that they said, oh, yeah, you're right. That is a qualification. So I feel for you, and the fact that you just have to repeat yourself over and over and over again. I did. I felt like I was on an episode of GH because so my ex has a regular job, but then he has other jobs that he works consistently. So some of that income should be counted. It's not like, oh, just pick up extra shifts here or there. Like, that's already counted in. So I was like, what about the income from the fact that he manages this up and coming concert or up and coming country singer? And his attorney was like, there's no other income. And I was like, he's had this job for over a year and a half. My kids have literally been at these concerts and seen and heard from their dad, like, we're going to the concert because I work for this guy. And you're going to tell me it doesn't happen? And the attorney again was like, there's no other income. And I was like, all right, I'll contact his current wife's attorney and get the information. I don't know why we're trying to be difficult. And so it really did feel like we could end up on a 2020 dateline, but I won't push that far. But sometimes it's just like, yeah, can't you just be honest? I really wish that like Diane would pick up the phone and be like, listen, sir, we know that income is there and we're going to get it. So just give the real numbers and let the lady move on. Right. You cannot hide it. So unfortunately, Diane is not a real attorney. I cannot hire her, but I would if I could.
I hear you. But yeah. All right. Well, I guess join us on Thursday as we continue with Lucky and Liz.
Yes. Hopefully our lives get a little more exciting before next reality check.
I know.
So have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax
I
cup.
meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.